as we conclude this year's musical march in September, where we looked back at solid gold rock and roll hits of the 50s, I think that by now we know exactly what kind of movie Shake, Rattle, and Rock is gonna be.
Well, my. We're gonna bump, jump, rock on a Saturday night.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up. Even the poster tells you that this is the definitive match between rock and roll versus the Squares. If you aren't Jimmy Olsen playing leapfrog over Lois Lane, then you are really lame as fuck. They're so serious about this shakin' and rockin' that there's an exclamation point on the title. Shake, rattle, and rock! That's almost a Bill Haley and His Comet song, and almost a Nintendo game. Shake, Rattle, and Rock is a movie that pits the kids against the old square community by putting the kids in the background as extras and letting Mannix and Winnie the Pooh speak for them. Plus, it's written by B-movie staple Lou Rusoff, who wrote many early Roger Corman movies, and directed by Edward Kahn, who directed all kinds of low-budget films, from Invasion of the Saucer Men, that could be any 50s sci-fi film, to even Yeller-sploitation like A Dog's Best Friend, starring a German Shepherd and a good guy doll. And with it being released by American International Pictures, it's gonna be as American as the Capitol building in heaven. Alright, who's getting sacrificed? Mike Connors decided to use the pseudonym Touch Connors. That way, no one would be surprised when he played grab-ass during the world's darkest hootenanny. I see they're dancing on the ice skating rink from Wild Guitar. Good news, ladies and gentlemen, we fixed the lights, so I have to stop touching people. Connors plays Gary Nelson, TV show host and rock enthusiast, who the old people hate more than their colored neighbors.
Now you've seen with your own eyes how rock and roll is destroying the youth of our nation.
Disgusting.
Revolting. Disgusting.
Someone invent Matlock so they'll all shut the fuck up. Only one thing will stop this rock music: mob mentality.
Now, all those in favor of an organized resistance such as the Vigilance Committee, signify.
Stop trying to bring back the Klan, 50s. In case you couldn't tell these were the stuffy old people, they actually name one of them Mr. Fitzdingle.
Down with the... What is it this time, Georgiana?
We're protesting gay wedding cakes. Try to keep up. There is a little bit of satire here where they all start comparing the things that they're protesting as if they're comparing penis sizes. They each try to one-up the amount of things that they're outraged at. Today on the menu, closing down Tubby's Drive-In to stop those Hollywood nights. And way to communicate with the set designer, the movie's not called Rock, Roll, and Shake. Not only is that not in the right order, but they gave Rattle the shaft. Sterling Holloway plays Axe McAllister, Gary's right-hand man. I had no idea that Sterling was also the original voice of Rip Taylor. Axe is gonna lead them to well-organized fun.
Yeah, here we are. Lucky 13 are gonna hold an arts and crafts bit. The long green stuff goes into the pot for the permanent building fund, right?
Whoa, slow down there, Chief. That sounds like too much fun. These kids have to get up early in the morning so they can get a head start on their taxes. Gary even brings his girlfriend June with him, so long as they can keep her in the station's model kitchen.
Ah, good. I'll buy it. You can work in my kitchen anytime.
Now you just stay in here, honey. Even if you set this kitchen on fire, go down with the flames. This place even comes with model cock blocking.
Gary, I hate to break up this touching little scene, but the studio is needed for rehearsal.
Who the fuck are you and how'd you get in my fake house? Alright, we got a soundtrack to sell. Fats Domino, get in here.
Say, Fats, a bunch of the kids would like to listen to you blowing up a storm. Would you let them listen in?
Sure thing. Real mature, Fats Domino. That was totally part of the movie. Fats sings a song called How Long Can I Keep Singing Until People Stop Buying That We're All in the Same Room Together. His guitar player tries very hard to stop his own neck from falling down to a 90-degree angle. Anyway, honey, we're all going for steaks. You stay here and make a model turkey with model potatoes, and don't forget to wash the model dishes. Oh, and take Sterling out for a walk. God damn it, he lost his bone again. Hey, that was my Sam Cooke record! Unfortunately, even the 50s weren't immune to trolling. Things really haven't changed.
Gary, I've never seen anything like it. 600 letters wishing you death by slow torture.
I told you not to review a Dinesh D'Souza movie on air. But Gary has his own club for the kids to play in. Surely the station manager must hear directly from them.
Look, why don't you come with us to a meeting of the Black Eagles? That's a group that's been formed in the slum area. Every one of those kids has a record of some kind.
And every single one of them white as my wife's model marshmallows. Are all of their ideas a fire hazard?
Dig it to him, Pop.
It's a building down the street the city's condemning.
Yeah.
I'm just playing around with the idea that we own it. And they're going to convert it into teen town.
Also, this is the house I keep seeing in my nightmares when the man in the dirty sweater tries killing me. We're the last of the rock and roll kids. Plus, having a rec center in danger sets up the plot for Shake, Rattle, and Rock 2, Acoustic Boogaloo. Wait, for it to be like Breakin' 2, it's gotta have some kind of businessman-like villain.
What is the matter? Nobody informs you this is my territory from 3rd Street to the Union Depot? You think you could just move in and take over just like that?
Guess that'll do. The mob is in the movie now. Gary is doing right by the youth. He has a place for them to dance, create art, and there's free cigarettes for kids of all ages, plus music by Anita Ray.
Come all you teen queens, put on your blue jeans. We're gonna have a big ball. We're gonna romp, stop, rock.
So much for my entry in the Judy Garland impersonator contest. This is one movie that gives every dull moment the X.
First bit, I figure that these kids can really scoot some loot. Second bit, I figure I can round up a group to really blow for the kids. And third,
It was a mistake to give Winnie the Pooh uppers. Those should have gone to Eeyore. At the end of the day, Gary and Axe will always have each other. Look, Axe, I appreciate that my girl's clothes look fantastic on you, but your model pot roast tastes like the soles of my shoes. You can't truly be hip unless you hang with Sterling Holloway talking 50s smack to old people.
because, kid, nothing braces me up like a good drag across the slag with a hag.
The Cheshire Cat got a contact high from the Alice audience. This is when Margaret Dumont demanded that all of the Marx Brothers be Zeppo.
In the name of what Mr. Fenwick just said, will you please stop that vulgar contortioning out there?
Oh, come on, what's so vulgar about this band?
Go yourself, my friend. Go yourself, my friend.
Oh, well, at least they're trying to censor themselves. They're taken to see the station manager before old man Viagra earns the name Touchy himself. X can handle the floor on his own.
From now on, call me General Axe McAllister.
No! The kids are all looking at him like he's the one holding them hostage, and he's sending his ransom demands to the TV station. Now get the fuck out of the way, I got a snake to voice! This group is finding new ways to get outraged before they slit their wrists upon seeing Janet Jackson's nipple.
Well, if necessary, we'll get a court order restraining them from performing this rolling stone in public.
You're just jealous that you and your wife don't have the sexual chemistry of Jagger and Richards. Look at how rowdy these kids are. To think that nowadays they're sitting in a nursing home doing the exact same things they're doing here. Gary has a plan. Bring a reporter over.
This is Mr. Armstrong, editor of the Clarion. He's been giving us a boost in his paper.
Oh, man, this cat's a positive gasser.
Sterling, I told you not to disguise yourself as one of the teenagers. No one's gonna buy you're this young. Like all good reporters, he'll pay the cost to save their club and rock and roll.
We'll pay the rent and the upkeep just so long as you keep doing constructive work.
Oh, man, didn't I tell you this was a gasser?
We'll throw in an extra $1,200 if Sterling invents Charles Nelson Riley. Oh, and June's aunt is the one who's trying to ban rock and roll.
Your aunt is a very determined woman. And since condemning low necklines has gone out of fashion, she's joined up with this lively group.
Your aunt has aged horribly, and the thought of making love to her turns me on less than sticking my dick in a Thanksgiving turkey. Look at this pandemonium.
What is happening to the younger generation of today, Nick?
Right? Walking into a building in an orderly fashion. We paid for Fats Domino, and goddammit, we're gonna use him. Again, not in the same room as the rest of the cast, as you can tell by their robotic and confused clapping at nothing. And then cops show up on the grounds of not fulfilling her request to sing Blueberry Hill. Just listen to this cult. The police must stop them.
Well, do you want to jump, children? Yeah! Do you want to jump, children? Yeah! Do you want to jump, children? Yeah!
He's brainwashing the children. Soon they'll start putting chocolate in their milk and drinking it from a straw. Sometimes I think the crowd is dancing to a completely different song.
You got red big eyes, really on the ball.
I told you, officer, get in there before they start using their gang signs.
Tommy Charles.
Boy, does this pandering razz my berries. If I wanted to see something this awkward, I'd watch Sterling exit a scene without even having a line.
Don't you think you'd better duck out?
We might as well know where I stand.
Well, you love me, then you leave me, and I cry the whole night through.
Oh shit, the director just shined a laser pointer. By George, he's shaking his shoulders. I haven't seen such a display of sexual promiscuity since the bare shoulders in Jesus, bro. Shouldn't they be more upset at Sterling trying to fuck a plant? Little do they know that on this night, mosh pits were born.
Oh, come on.
He doesn't even know he was punched. He just thought the plant was finally fighting back. Sure, even though it was the mafia that put the kids up to this, these kids would be doing this anyway because their home team just won the championship. Gary won't give up the names of the kids who destroyed the car, so instead he puts the blame on Michael Jackson. This is gonna be a sad night of lovemaking for Gary and Axe.
If they ever put me under oath, I'm gonna have to tell them who those kids were.
And then the whole jazz goes up in smoke. Come on, one on the house, please.
Ooh, he's presenting. Gary only knows one way out of this. Televise a mock trial of rock and roll versus the Squares. Seriously.
I'd like to bring this whole thing to a showdown publicly. A trial with every listener as judge and jury.
And thus Nancy Grace was born, and Gary instantly regretted this horrible idea. This movie is so lame that the kids are watching something else. Honestly, the kids look more lame than the adults. The adults at least have passion about something. Here's how the kids are reacting to the music that they supposedly like.
Down goes my baby up the tree, giggling and wiggling and scolding me.
You kids are getting upstage in excitement by a 51-year-old man. Okay, we're out of musical acts, so let's show the villain getting a shave.
How do I look?
Oh, magnificent.
Like Liberace's candelabra.
Axe challenges that remark. Don't worry, honey. After another 30 days in the model kitchen, you will be a model wife.
Say, have you learned to cook yet?
I'm up to ham and eggs already.
Oh, that's nice, dear. But tonight is pork chop night. I hate talking during this because I feel like I'm missing the setup of things.
I love cotton pickers.
I'm gonna need context for that. And now this manufactured trial that has no stakes and means absolutely nothing. I see the problem already. The mafia brings in a guy who's obviously been beaten into speaking against the kids. Seems legit, but it's the children who are wrong.
This rock and roll is a musical noise symptomatic of a decadent and irresponsible youth.
Now that we've heard from Jeff's dad from Rocket's Your Decision, Gary Mason can now speak.
A cultural expression evolved by and for the youth of today, and is no more significant or harmful than was the turkey trot 40 years ago.
Then the kids grew up to destroy Donna Summer albums at Disco Gay Panic Night. The best part of the whole movie is when they provide the court with a history of rock by dancing along with a film reel showing Australian Aborigines dancing, which, I guess is closer to being a more accurate story of rock than the one presented in Rock Around the Clock. Never mind that, Team Elderly has real dancing.
What is your name?
Aloysius Pennycratch.
So White Bread McVanilla Squire Von Waspnest. Got it. Please continue. Okay, she's still showing more emotion than anyone in your group. This court case is such a non-issue that it could compete with the one in God's Not Dead 2. But all neocon stick-up-the-ass-berg really needs is to be stricken with a hip virus caused by 30 cc's of Robin Leach. This is an open and shut case.
Did this concert result in a criminal act or acts?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe not. Best give little Richard the electric chair. Or win your case with shtick.
Your name and occupation? Gary Nelson, disc jockey.
Gary wins by being possessed by both Groucho Marx and Woody Allen. Plus, I think the movie knows that I'm making fun of it.
Sustained. Disregard that last remark.
Am I the jury? Then I find this movie guilty of being as unhip as the chaperones dancing at the prom. No, don't put him up there. He'll ruin your case and the English language.
Well, I teed off Monica Albert, but folks now dig me axe because I chop a mean 10.
I beg your pardon?
Look out for Mr. Stork. He's got you on his list to deliver you brain-hole punching acid cubes. They actually give the judge a translator so Gary can speak for Axe like it's fucking Nuremberg.
Your name again?
They dig me axe, I chop a chop.
They call me Axe because of my ability to get the best in exchange of repartee.
This movie's as funny as a church youth group reenacting their own Full House fan fiction. You don't need to subtitle it. I can hear it. Just because I don't want to hear it doesn't mean I can't. This movie is closed caption for the humor impaired. Now they bring in Fats Domino via screen because, of course, even at trial, he can never share the screen with any of the other actors.
Hiya, kids. This is Fats Domino. I want all of you to know that I'm in love again.
Cut. Perfect. No need for a second take on that one. They win the case by explaining that rock is no different than the expressions of youth from generations past, such as in the 1920s, where it's actually revealed that the people wanting to shut down rock and roll are the ones who are dancing in the film reel. Now the kids can buy their shithole.
If you want to help, if you believe in them, in yourself, you can help make this teen town dream come true.
Only you can put a group of teens in a house that will collapse on them and kill them. Thank you so much, Gary. Now we can grow old and protest rap music. The circle continues. And the best part is, you don't have to leave the kitchen to know that I'm a hero.
You know, I think you'd better start shopping for those kitchen appliances.
Gary is having the best week ever. His girl is almost domesticated. Passion is even brought back to the old people's marriage, I think.
Don't go away from me, chick, or I'll chop a couple of ribs on your pate.
Oh, darling!
He's gonna beat her like they're in their 20s again. Gary's job is saved, Rock is saved, the youth center is saved. Now let's show everyone dancing except for the kids. I guess that's just as hard as simply writing the words, "the end."
Baby, don't you let your dog bite
me. Look, I don't care what words you put on the screen. They don't even have to make sense. I just care that the movie's over. Well, that was stupid. It's amazing that rock and roll even survived when its biggest threat was clearly adult movie producers cynically trying to appeal to the younger generations. This movie is the equivalent of turning your hat backwards and saying, "Hey kids, let's rap about rock music." It's like the movie is created by rock and roll haters as reverse psychology to make kids no longer interested in rock music because you, the adults, are into it now. It's interesting to see how these kinds of films really are destined to be dated, but while the slang, fashion, and music is certainly of its time, the themes and story elements of the movies really are kinda timeless, with every generation having light-hearted movies that capitalize on a certain music trend, or people fetishizing outrage over it. Hell, even these specific plots, like the kids versus the squares, would still be used 30 years later in movies like Footloose. But as we said at the top of this year's musical march in September, these movies will always have a place in providing the soundtrack for more infomercials.
Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
It's now the mash.
Just tell me whether or not I have fucking cancer! With Musical March in September once again behind us, we've got a full month of scary movies coming in October, where the only lamos in those films are the ones who get stabbed to death and die. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/stonedgremlinproductions. Follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com.